Hi everyone, this is Priyanka working as Assistant Professor in SNS College of Engineering. Today in my lecture series we are just going to see about the logical design of IoT. In last lecture series we have seen about the physical device of IoT. First of all, logical design of IoT mainly refers to an abstract representation of the entities and process without going into low level specification of the implementations. This it consists of three things, that is IoT function block, IoT communication model, and IoT communication APIs. First, let's see in detail about the IoT functional blocks. IoT functional block consists of a number of functional blocks that provides the system the capabilities for identification, sensing, actuating, communication and management. It mainly consists of application, management, services, communication, security and devices. Let's see in detail. Devices. An IoT system comprises of the devices that provides sensing, actuating, monitoring and control function. Next is a communication. Communication block handle the communication system. Next is the services. An IoT system uses various types of IoT services such as services for device monitoring, device controlling services, then data publishing services, and services for device discovery. Next is the management. Management it consists of functional blocks provided various functions to govern the IoT system. Next is the security. Security function block it mainly deals with the security IoT system and by providing functions such as application authentication, manage messages, and content integrity of data security. Next is the application. Application mainly consists of IoT application. It provides an interface that is user can use the control and monitor various aspects of IoT systems. Next comes the IoT communication models. IoT communication model it mainly consists of request response, publish subscribe, push pull and exclusive pair. Let's see in detail. First is your request response. The request response is a communication model in which the client sends a request to the server and the server responds to the request. Next is the publish subscribe. Publish subscribe. The publish subscribe is a communication method in which it involves publisher, broker, and consumer. Publisher or the source of data and the source of data, whereas publisher it sends the data to the topics of which manages by the broker, whereas the publishers are not aware of the consumer. Here the consumer subscribe to the topic where are managed by the broker. This is all the publish subscribe. Next is push and pull. Push and pull it mainly consists of the communication model in which the data producers push the data to the queues and the consumers pull the data from the queues. Producers do not need to be aware of the customers, whereas queues help in decoupling the message between the producer and the consumer. It also acts as a buffer which helps in a situation where there is a mismatch between the rate of producers push data and the rate of which the consumer pull the data. Next is the exclusive pair. Exclusive pair is a bidirectional, fully duplex communication model that uses a persistent connections between the client and the server. Once the condition is set up, it remains open until the client sends and receives a message. Client and server can send message to each other after connection step. Here in exclusive pair is a stateful communication model and the service is aware of the only the open connections. Next comes the IoT communication API. It mainly consists of REST-based communication API, WebSocket-based communication API. These are the REST-based communication API. REST-based communication API it mainly represents the state transfer is set of architectural principles which is designed with the web services and web API. Mainly consists of HTTP client, HTTP packet, HTTP server, and the resources. Next is the WebSocket based communication. WebSocket based communication here client and servers consist of first a request is set to the WebSocket connection and then a response is received from the server, then a data frames are present in between them, and finally the connection is close the request and then connection will close the response. This is the WebSocket communication. Thank you.